Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Orlando Fox Show. I'm Orlando, and we're here at the George Mason Patriot Center where the Hip Hop Caucus is launching Respect My Vote, and they're using the entertainment industry to help them. They have T.I. who's headlining this project. Also, T-Pain is expected to be here. We are coming to you with so much information and lots of interviews, because if you know nothing about voting, then you know that the 26th Amendment is what gives you the right to vote at the age of 18. We're going to come to you more with interviews and highlights from this entire event. Stay with us. All right, so we're here with Reverend Yearwood, and tell us more about you. As we can see, he's right on the bus with T.I. And tell us about this Respect My Vote campaign.
Well, this campaign here is really important. It's probably one of the most important elections of our time. I mean, we are literally at our lunch counter moment for the 21st century. Dealing with the economy, healthcare, education, what's going on with the war, we really need something to happen. And so we recognize that we as a generation, hip-hop generation, has to now get organized. We are much more, we're not like revolutionary like we were in the 60s, we're much more solutionary. So we're coming around now to say we just don't want to be at the lunch counter, but then how can we be at the lunch counter and then also afford the meal at the lunch counter and then also own the lunch counter? And so we're at that point now. So this Respect My Vote campaign is really to get out young people, to energize, organize, and mobilize, but also because T.I. is one of our spokespeople, it's really a standpoint to get felons, people who have felons involved in the process, because that's one of the things that's used to...
And those who are felons or ex-cons, you can vote, but it's per jurisdiction. You have to find out what the law says about that.
It is per jurisdiction, but it's also, the felon disenfranchisement has always been used as a way from Jim Crow to really exclude communities of color in particular. And so we're definitely going to them and saying to get them their rights to return to them, or then to get them engaged, because we know that for them to really be involved in the process with their families, their daughters, it's something bad when you go into prison, you lost that right, but you can regain it. So we want them to also regain it. So T.I. has been a phenomenal spokesperson.
Is it fair to say that the integral component of this is hip-hop, because hip-hop has the attention of young America?
Well, no, definitely. I mean, obviously we're using one's cultural expression to form one's political experience. So obviously, as you see now, the excitement around hip-hop, we're using that. I mean, I was obviously one of the co-creators of Vote or Die with P. Diddy, and now doing Respect My Vote with T.I. and others, obviously using that to mobilize and energize young people. But it's more than that. It's just not using an art form, but it's obviously using the expression so they can feel comfortable, so that it is respect my vote. It is not just saying because you're black, you're going to vote one way.
Or because you're black, you have to vote for Obama.
No, exactly, because it can't be that way, because we've seen now the 109th Congress was Republican, and it really didn't do much, but the 110th Congress was Democrat, and it still didn't do much. And so it's not about a Democrat Congress or a Republican Congress, but we need a human Congress, a Congress that puts humanity first, so that our issues in our community can be heard. And it's not about putting a black face in a high place, or any face. We need to put politicians who are concerned about our voice at this time.
Isn't the crux of this campaign is to also get young people to be excited about voting beyond the 4 years?
Oh, most definitely. Well, beyond the fourth. And so, no, most definitely. It's more important for them not to just come out and vote and then be over. And that's what they think. Being involved civically is really starts on the 5th. To understand about policies, to understand about the issues. Don't just come out. The judge in the Sean Bell case was elected. And so we just can't have demonstrations out of frustrations and marching in the street. We got to be in a position where we have to recognize that these are elected officials and they are accountable to us. And so our job is to make sure that they know that, so that judges, dog catchers, councilmen, councilwomen, whoever, president to the governor, it does not matter, but you are accountable to us. And we are all Americans. We all love America. We're all patriotic. We all want to see our country go forward. And democracy only works if we're all involved. It can't be just white or brown or black, but when we're all involved, when it's black and white and brown and yellow and red, male, female, Christian, Jew, Buddhist, atheist, theist, we're all involved in the process. That makes democracy.
Then I'm not asking you to be T.I.'s spokesperson, but give us some insight into what he says or what he feels about voting.
No, definitely. Well, he feels if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. And one of the things he always says is that he recognized he lost his vote. He made a mistake. But he says, make it for my -1. Get out there and vote for me. And recognize you have a gift. I'm a millionaire. I mean, I'm on title buses. I mean, I have albums, but I can't do what you can do on the 4th. And so don't lose that gift that Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou, and Marcus Garvey, and Martin Luther King, and Medgar Evers, so many who gave their lives for us to get to this point. Don't lose that moment. Take this moment very seriously and continue the legacy of being involved in this process.
And as I normally say, it's what Mahatma Gandhi said, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. So you really have not a voice about what anybody does if you're not being a part of that change.
You have to be, you must be part of the change. Our generation must be at a point now where we must recognize that this is such a critical moment because of all what's going on. Poverty, militarism, continued racism, even though we're trying to get past that, and so many other problems.
And genocide, let's not forget.
And most definitely genocide. And we're much more a global community. So even now with this video camera, our generation recognizes that the revolution may not be televised, but it will be uploaded. We'll put that thing on YouTube.
Absolutely.
And
YouTube, MySpace,
Facebook,
your space, free space. Anybody who's
so the revolution may not be televised, but it will be uploaded.
Right.
And that's how we got to do now.
That's right.
That's how we got to create change, but change really that goes beyond in our community. That's what we got to do. It's a critical moment. And if we don't do it now in the 21st century, they will not be a 22nd century.
Now, I introduce you as Reverend Yearbook. Yep. You're Reverend where? I'm sorry, Reverend Yearwood. My apology. You're Reverend where?
I was a former Air Force chaplain. I'm ordained. I went to Howard. I'm at New Bethel here in D.C. Actually, but I run the Hip Hop Caucus. That's my love. I was a White House intern, and so I've been able to merge my my religious aspect with my political aspects. Yeah. And this being the streets, I guess this is about as good as it gets.
Now, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is Ben Chavis a part of this?
The Hip Hop Summit is one of our partners.
Summit.
Yeah, Hip Hop Summit is one of our partners. Hip Hop Caucus. I used to be a political director with the Summit, and with the Summit as a partner, Dr. Ben Chavis and Russell Simmons are all a part of this process, as well as Atlantic Records and Grand Hustle and some other people who are involved in this process as well.
All right, well, good. Great conversation with Reverend Yearwood. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Anytime. All right, thanks.
I think this Respect My Vote campaign is basically a trend-setting statement for our generation in terms of actually some of the key individuals. We have Omar Epps, we have Melanie, we have T.I., individuals from diverse backgrounds that come together to say it is our time to not only be heard, but to actually be respected, to actually be counted, to actually vote and make a difference, which is one of the issues that we've always had. There's a generational conflict. We can always count on our seniors, but when it comes to the young folk, we have to find those identifying key indicators that get them actually out and ready to vote.
When I think of vote, and I think of like your rights. When I think of your rights, I think of power. And when I think of the right to vote and choosing Barack Obama or the other guy, I think of direction. And they say power without direction is meaningless, is pointless.
So do you guys feel that being young, you have a voice even if you vote?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I feel as though this 08 campaign vote is very important. We need to vote, get your vote out, get your word heard.
All right, I want to talk with some of the ladies, so let me get in here quickly. Just come up. And as a young lady, obviously, you heard so much about Sarah Palin and just women having a voice and coming forward since women have been at the back burner for so long. What is your take on that?
Well, I don't really want to vote for McCain and Palin, but I do think it's good that women are getting out there and having new opportunities that they didn't have before.
And I want to ask you guys as a whole, do you feel that just because you're an African American, you must vote for Obama?
No, I don't necessarily feel that, but I feel that Obama is the most qualified person, and it's just a bonus and a plus, and to our benefit that he's black. So that's what I believe.